So there's two incidents that have emerged out of Liverpool over these past couple of days that I wanted to go over because although the police at this current time aren't connecting them, the circumstances surrounding both cases are eerily similar. For this first incident then, we've got to head over to the Old Swan area of the city, and it's around 12:30 AM on Sunday the 21st of August 2022. Emergency services were called to an address on Leinster Lane to reports for concerns of the safety of a person. Police had received multiple reports that either fireworks or worse, gunshots had been let off at a property. When emergency services arrived at the scene, 28-year-old Ashley Dale was found with gunshot injuries in the back garden of the property, believed to be her residence. She would be rushed to hospital but would sadly go on to die a short while later. From what we know so far, the Merseyside police have came out to say that they don't believe Ashley was the intended target of the shooting and had been alone at the time. As she lived at the address by herself, that could possibly mean that the shooter or shooters got the wrong address. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what happened this early in the investigation so far, but police have said that the front door of the property was forced open and a firearm was then discharged indiscriminately. The type of firearm hasn't been identified yet, but police are saying that a shotgun wasn't used, and they've announced that no arrests have been made as of yet, but inquiries are ongoing. They've urged people to come forward that were in the area at the time. According to police, CCTV shows that multiple people were present in the area both on foot and in vehicles at the time of the shooting, and again, this is why they are asking people to come forward. As sad as this case is already, Ashley, believe it or not, had only lost her younger brother, Lewis Dunn, back in 2015 in an all too familiar fashion. 16-year-old Lewis Dunn had been out and about in Liverpool on the 15th of November 2015 at around 10:35 PM. He was on his way to borrow a bike when he crossed paths with Jake Colshaw, John Martin, Paul Martin, and a man who to this day hasn't been identified. They were complete strangers. Earlier on in the day, the four had been in a clash with rival gang members in the city, and being on the losing end of that clash, their egos were hurt. For poor Lewis, this would mark his untimely death. After crossing paths down a dark, isolated canal path, words were exchanged and Lewis made a run for it, but as he did, one of the men fired a double-barreled shotgun and left him for dead. The four men fled and, as you know, Lewis was pronounced dead at the scene. The young boy who told his mother he'd be back in 20 minutes would never be seen alive again. And nearly 7 years on, that mother has to relive all those nightmares. This next incident, ladies and gentlemen, happened last night from when I'm recording this video. That would be at around 10 PM on the 22nd of August 2022. And on the 15th anniversary of the murder of Rhys Jones, I have to sadly announce that a 9-year-old girl has been shot dead in her own home in Liverpool. For anyone who isn't aware, Rhys Jones was an 11-year-old boy who had been shot dead after being caught in the crossfire of a gangland shooting. I've previously covered the incident in a lengthy video if anyone wants more information surrounding the case. The whole case shook the nation. I'll leave that video linked down in the description below for anyone who's interested. Back to this most recent case though, and from what we know so far is that 9-year-old primary school girl Olivia Pratt Korbel had been shot dead after a masked gunman forced his way into her house. This all occurred when Olivia's mum Cheryl opened the door to her home in the Knotty Ash area of the city. She had seen a man being chased in the street. She was wondering what was going on. That man, however, would run towards her house, pushed Cheryl out of the way and made his way into the home. The gunman was close behind. Cheryl attempted to block the door, but ultimately she wasn't strong enough and shots were let off towards her and, sadly, Olivia's direction. Olivia was hit in the chest, Cheryl the wrist. We're not sure if the gunman was aware he had just hit two innocent bystanders at that point, but after they were hit, he forced his way in and let off more shots towards the man he was chasing. All three were now on the floor. The gunman had fled. Olivia lay dying, and out of nowhere people entered the property, a sign of hope that maybe Olivia could make her way to the hospital before emergency services arrived. But they were the man's friends. They stepped over Olivia and Cheryl, picked up the man and rushed him to hospital, leaving the two innocent bystanders behind. Emergency services would arrive on the scene soon after though, and the pair were rushed to hospital. Olivia, as you know though, wouldn't make it. A manhunt has been opened to find the gunman as he's still at large. The Merseyside police have came out to say this in regards to the incident.
My appeal is to the person responsible for this horrendous attack on a 9-year-old schoolgirl to recognise the pain and anguish that this has caused her family. I want that individual to hand themselves in. I also want the second man that was in the street, that was with the 35-year-old man, to hand himself in to us or make himself known to us. A general appeal now. The local communities, I've said before earlier this week, are absolute eyes and ears of our intelligence and will help us solve this horrific crime. Therefore, I need them to work with us and provide to us any information at all regarding who is responsible, their current location, the whereabouts of the weapon that was used, or indeed any other information that provides us with a full understanding of what's taken place and allows us to successfully prosecute those responsible for this awful crime. I am interested, of course, in CCTV, and that could be from private CCTV at people's homes, or if you have it for your doorbells, or dashcam footage. We have launched a major incident portal on our website, and that information can be uploaded directly to us. I'm also interested in any information or speculation that people hear. We know that names will be circulated in the communities very quickly around those that are responsible. I want to hear about those things. I also want to hear, even if you were in the area but you don't think you've heard or seen anything, let us be the judge of that. So if you're in that area or the surrounding community area, please make contact with us, speak to a detective, and we will decide whether you have any vital information or not. I also want to know the whereabouts leading up to this attack of the black Audi motor vehicle that was used to convey the 35-year-old man to hospital. All the information that we do receive, as you can imagine, will be treated with absolute confidence. We'll do everything to protect those people who do come forward with information. If people feel that they can't provide that, then there is the option around Crime Stoppers, and the links are on our website, or the contact number is 0800 555 111. It is absolutely critical, as the Chief Constable's already mentioned, that this individual and everybody surrounding this crime is identified and swiftly brought to justice. They have no place in our communities. We have dealt with a number of previous firearms-related homicides over this past week, and now we are faced with dealing with a 9-year-old child. Thank you.